These two questions are the questions which comes from the D block elements. Difference within a group. That means if this is the element from thorium to lawrencium, we call it as actinides. The properties are in intermediate between the S block and the P block elements. The valence electrons is entering into the n-1 d orbital. Hello my dear students, I am Priyanka Rajaram from Vidyashram PU College, Temple of Excellence. Today I shall start with the new chapter D and F block elements. First we shall see the weightage of this chapter. According to the blueprint, we have 3 questions which can come from this particular chapter. One question is in part B carrying 2 marks and the other 2 questions in part C carrying 3 marks. As this belongs to inorganic chemistry group, we have only part C, that is 3 mark questions, and part B, that is 2 mark questions. And usually it is observed that part B under 2 marks question usually have the questions from F block elements, and these 2 questions are the questions which comes from the D block elements. So the total weightage of the chapter is 8 marks. Okay. What are D block elements? Where exactly are they placed in the periodic table? First of all, D block elements include 3 periods in the periodic table, that is 4, 5 and 6, and there are 10 groups which are belonging to D block elements, that is 3 to 12. Okay. So every series have 10 elements and the chemistry is different from other elements of S block and P block. Also, special electronic configuration is very important here because there is where you can see some exceptional cases. Also, difference within a group. That means if this is the element in a particular group 3, difference between the particular element or particular group, all the 3 elements, differences if you see, it is not very sharp. Okay, it is less sharp or compared to S block or P block elements. That is, I cannot tell down the group, what is the differences which you see, whether the ionic radii increases, decreases, about ionization enthalpy, etc. It is not very sharp when you see the elements belonging to the same group. But across the period, if you see, the similarities are greater. That is, they are same characteristics they have along the period if you observe. Okay. So what exactly are D block elements and where are they placed in the periodic table? We'll see here. Here from third group, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All this are D block elements. So this one, what you can see here, we call it as D block elements, which is in yellow. Okay, so you have scandium to zinc, then you have yttrium to cadmium, then you have lanthanum. If you take from lanthanum, in between you have to remove out the lanthanide series. So hafnium to mercury and then rutherfordium to coppernicum. Okay, so the first series we call it as 3D transition series or 3D series because here D orbitals, 3D orbitals are getting filled. The electrons are filling into the 3D orbital. Okay. This one, this 10 elements are called as 4D series and this is called as 5D series because the electrons are filling here in 4D orbital, here in 5D orbital. So we have each series in name. Okay, this is one series. This is the second. This is the third transition series. Fine. Now, what are F block elements? See, F block elements from 57 to 71, we remove it and we keep it aside. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 you have. But remember 57 beta, here 89 you don't include here. After this you have 14 elements. What is there? That is after lanthanum, from cerium to lutetium we call it as lanthanides, and from thorium to lawrencium we call it as actinides, which is filling up the f orbital. Okay, it is filling up the f orbital, thus we call it as f block elements. More detailed about f block elements I shall do it once I finish with the d block elements. Okay, so that's about the d block elements. Now one more thing what you can observe here is, in d block elements all are metals and they are called as transition metals. Why? See, in S block elements we have soft metals which is there, and in P block elements we have metalloids and then the non-metals. So there is a transition from the metal state to the non-metal state. That's why we call it as the transition metals. There is one more reason why we call it as transition metal. I shall explain. So what is the definition? This is one way of defining it. The elements which possess partially filled d subshell either in the atomic state or in their oxidation state are called as d block elements. So this is one of the definitions. There are two ways to define it. I shall explain the other way also. So what is it? The elements which possess partially filled d orbitals or d subshells either in the atomic state or in their oxidation state, that is when they lose electrons. Even then if it has got the partially filled d orbitals, then we call them as d block elements. Now the properties are in intermediate between the S block and the P block elements, and these elements represent the transition in properties from electropositive elements to electronegative elements. I told you all one thing why they are called as transition metals, because from the metals to non-metals, when it is changing in the periodic table, there is a transition which is happening, then we get these elements, one way. Or it is also called as transition metals because there is a transition in the properties from electropositive elements to the electronegative elements, and in between we get the d block elements. That's why it's also called as the transition metals, and they are all metals which are present in d block elements. Okay, one more way of defining is the elements in which the last differentiating electrons enter the d orbital of penultimate, that is n-1 d, is called as d block elements. That is, here what happens is the electrons, the last electrons, that's the valence electrons, is entering into the n-1 d orbital. What is the meaning of n-1 d orbital? For example, I will take scandium. Okay, its atomic number is 21. So when I write the electronic configuration of this, it is argon. Okay, that is atomic number up to 18. Then it will fill 4s2, so 18, 19, 20 and 3d1. But actually, which is the valence shell? Fourth shell. But which shell of the d is getting filled? Third shell d orbital is getting filled. So one shell inside or previous shell's d orbital is getting filled compared to the valence shell, isn't it? That is the meaning of penultimate shell. Ultimate andre last. Last shell we call it as ultimate shell. One shell before, if it is there, we call it as penultimate shell, and the d orbital of the penultimate shell is getting filled up here. That's why we call it as the d block elements. Okay, so the elements in which the last differentiating electrons enter the d orbital of penultimate shell, that is n-1 d shell, is also called as d block elements. Now I told you in the definition, d block elements are those which has got partially filled d orbitals in the atomic state or in the oxidation state. Thus zinc, cadmium, mercury are not considered as transition metals. Why? Because they are in the end, they are in the 12th group here. 12th group al ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ we'll have zinc, cadmium and mercury. Okay, these have completely filled orbitals. What is it? Completely filled orbitals, d orbital it has got. Thus, they are not a typical transition elements. But we study zinc, cadmium and mercury have same characteristics just like D block elements. Thus, we study along with the D block elements, and thus they are also called as non-typical transition elements. So, what are these called as? They are also called as non-typical transition elements. All the other elements are called as typical transition elements. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the D block elements. Next is about the electronic configuration. So general electronic configuration for all the series, if I have to tell, okay, it is n-1 D1 to 10 and ns1 to 2. This is the general valence shell electronic configuration for all the series 3D, 4D as well as the 5D series. Okay, but across the first row in D block elements, that is from scandium to zinc, if you see, for every element is increasing by 1 atomic number, 21, 22, 23, and the electrons are entering into the 3D orbital, and hence they are also called as 3D transition series, and their electronic configuration is like this. So the core electronic configuration is argon, which is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p6, that is up to 18 electrons. Okay, next 19, 20 electron it will fill up to 4s, then it will start filling 3D. So the atomic number of scandium is 21. So after argon, 19, 20, 1 in the 3D series is present. Next, if you see titanium, atomic number 22, it is argon 4s2, 3D2. Vanadium 23, it is argon 4s2, 3D3. Okay, chromium, if you see, there is an exceptional case here, that is chromium argon 4s1, 3D5. Again I am telling, chromium 24 atomic number is an exceptional case in which argon, after argon you have 4s1, 3D5. This is the electronic configuration which you need to remember. It is an exceptional case. Okay, why it is like this? Because one more electron if it would have got here, it will get a stability. That's why from s orbital one has jumped here to fill 3D5 half filled. Okay, next we have manganese, atomic number 25, that is argon 4s2, 3D5, iron 26, 4s2, 3D6, you can see here 5, one more 6 started pairing up. Okay, then you have cobalt, atomic number 27, 4s2 and 3D7. Here you can see it's paired up. Nickel, atomic number 28, argon 4s2, 3D8. Then again you have copper, atomic number 29, which is again an exceptional case where you can see argon 4s1, 3D10. So what again? Copper 29 atomic number, exceptional case, argon 4s1, completely filled D orbital. Again this is happening because completely filled D orbital copper will get extra stability. Okay, last one you can see zinc, atomic number 30, where all D orbital is also filled, S orbital also is filled up. Okay, so that's about the electronic configuration of 3D transition series in which you need to remember about chromium and copper, which are having an exceptional electronic configuration. Okay, so general electronic configuration of other series can be given here. Okay, so first transition series, it's argon 3D 1 to 10 4s2, and second transition series, that is 4D series 39 to 48. Here you can see 4D, it is getting filled up. So it is krypton 4D 1 to 10, 5s 1 to 2 or 2 we can write. Then we have third transition series, that is the 5D series, in which we have 57 and then from 72 to 81. So 1 plus 9, it is 10 elements. So it is filling up 5D transition series. You have for 57, that is lanthanum, you have xenon 5D1 4s2. Then from 72 to 80, you have xenon 4f14, then 5D 2 to 10 and 6s2. Okay. Last 6D transition series or the fourth transition series, where you have 89, that is actinium, and then 104 to 112. So 9 plus 1, 10 elements you have, filling up 6D series. You can see for actinium, it is radon 61 4s2, and from 104 to 112 it is radon 5f14, 62 to 10 and 7s2. This is the general electronic configuration of all the 4 transition series. Okay. Next is about the characteristics of the transition elements. We'll see one by one. First one, except for mercury, which is a liquid at room temperature, all the elements are solid metals exhibiting a characteristic of a metal. So only mercury is there, which is a liquid, rest all are solid metals. Next, they show variable oxidation state. Unlike S and P block elements, they have some of their compounds show catalytic property. Some of the compounds are colored. They have great tendency to form complex compound. They form alloys and interstitial compounds. So more about all of these properties we shall learn in the next class. Okay. Next class we'll be learning about the atomic radii. So thank you my dear children. I hope you have understood today's class. Stay tuned, stay focused.